All right, so let's start our day recap day. What a day. We did it. We did it. We're on the other end of what we were this day we were like so afraid of, I feel like all week. I'll say I remember some of those first years we did this. There were some shows where I was sitting here and I was like, just because I'm so sleep deprived, not because it was boring, you know. And like I was sleep deprived today, but the energy was up because the games look amazing. It is starting to get to a point. As someone who still tries to find a way, it is starting to get to a point where I'm like, Jesus,
This is not sustainable.
this is too many games. Because, I mean, at the end of this, we're probably at 350 today. We set that as the how many games all week, and we probably hit that today.
Because last count was like, I think we were close to 250, and
Yeah.
then this was like 55.
Yeah, and then there's some that were at the future of play, or future game that we didn't, the post show that we didn't count.
Yeah.
There's some that we didn't count the numbers from the green games, even though we don't like it. Technically, we were gonna count those, at some point.
Yeah.
So we might have hit 350 today alone, and we definitely hit it with yesterday. So everyone that hit over, enjoy your points. But yeah, what a day that,
What a day.
we had Wholesome at the start. Did you see what the green games ended on? Yeah, The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
The Walking Dead and old.
The one more thing.
The one more thing was the original trailer for The Walking Dead 2.
Here's a 20-year-old trailer.
Just ridiculous. But let's
I can't believe today was real.
before we go into our highlights. What?
I just remember in my head is going back to when all this was happening, and Fern was literally like, "I'm losing my mind."
You were like,
I was like, I'm
Crashing out
ripping
of
reality
it.
right now.
like when I started saying something, you were like, "Wait, what the fuck are you saying?" Bro, clear this queue. Okay,
Bro,
we
what
started
is
the
this?
day. Well, I'm just going through the Wholesome.
Bro, this guy over here.
We started the day with a Wholesome Direct, of course. I did mean that, Scully. We started the day with the Wholesome Direct, which always hits. We love it every year. This year the shirt looks amazing. They're doing a pride focused charity this year, so check out their shirts because those are always so cool.
Supporting a charity called Point of Pride.
Yeah, and it's always so cool to see that Wholesome is like stepping up every year to where they literally had the debut of the new Story of Seasons game. Like that's how big this brand has become, that Story of Seasons like, hey, we're gonna reveal our next one. Do you want the trailer? Like how cool is that for them? And yeah, just as always had amazing games that we're so excited for. I don't think I technically have one in here, but none of our highlights, across, we all picked 2. I'm the only one that had 1, I think, out of this show.
Didn't I?
Didn't I?
Did you? Oh, the honorable mention?
Hold on, I think you're.
Yeah,
looking at-
my honorable mention is from this.
Yeah. Oh, never mind. I take it all back.
Mine is.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
This guy's just gaslighting us. We all have something
Gaslighting.
from Wholesome.
But the wholesome show was really good as always. It's really cool to see an even wider spread of wholesome like content creators and streamers and stuff come in and be on board alongside the ever-present Kim Chica, Jenny Wyndham. Really fun. Yeah, love their I almost missed. Did they play the classic track that I always have been humming this week? Let me just see at the start. I think they did. Yeah. Oh, so good, dude. Classic. It's a classic for a reason. And yeah, just set the set the tone right for what would be a very busy day for us. Anything
And
you guys
for
want?
devs everywhere.
Yeah, you guys want to say anything about Wholesome?
Welcome to the
I
fifth
mean,
anniversary of
Wholesome
It's
had
only-
a lot of games releasing alongside it.
Yeah,
generated more than
Yeah.
1
So
million
that
wishlists
was cool.
and
You know,
raised
I think
200,000
so many
for
indie
charity,
devs
thanks
just
to your
like really
support and
need to
excitement from
leverage
joyful and uplifting
what they can
games.
get in terms of getting eyes on their
Sit
game.
back
And so
relax
we've, I
as we
think
bring you
last year
surprise
too, there were what,
releases,
like 4 or
more
5
flavors, and so
that
much more.
like shadow dropped that
As
day.
always, you can find the complete
And some of these I
list of
think were
games on
planned,
wholesomegames.com
but some were
after
shadow
the
drops
show.
as
Yeah.
well.
Let's
So,
get started.
you know, just props to them for being able to give developers visibility like on their release day.
100%. Squeakross. Like, I need to get on that now. Yeah, Fish. I mean, I feel like we say a lot of the, same stuff
I mean,
for.
yeah, but I mean, it's just nice to see it getting bigger, and better every single year. And we're 5 years into it, and it's always a banger from
Yeah.
year one to year now.
Happy 5
Everyone-
years.
Happy 5 years, happy Pride. Everyone else is 2000 and late, and fucking Wholesome's 3008. You know what I'm saying?
Glory, welcome. I don't know if you just heard me say it, but Squeakross is out today. It's out now. And before we continue, let's take a moment, streamers, to say happy birthday to Kim. Over
Happy
there
birthday, Kim.
Birthday, Kim.
with Glory over there. Happy birthday
I'm
to
also
Kim.
correct. My name is
Yippee.
Kennedy.
Yes, Squeakross out today, Glory.
TikTok,
Yeah,
follow
just a
me.
great show as
In the
always.
corner of the internet
The
is a
Wholesome
space where everyone
Direct,
can feel
and
welcome
yeah,
at
the
home
the
in
thing you
world
mentioned
game.
about out
Let's
today,
all
maybe
found
that
the games that sent us
plays
down
into what you got going here in your highlights.
In our next game,
We'll see,
we'll
we'll
tell
see.
the story through
Then we
the
went into the
game.
batch of
And the best part
shows
is, it comes out
um,
today.
that kind of, are now kind of bundled together. We had women-led games, the 2025 edition of women-led games. Again, I would say, all of these shows have shown like a step up in growth in presentation, in the games that they are able to show. I think we can kind of talk about all these on the whole, women-led games. So there was women-led games, they had Latin American Games Showcase, and the Southeast Asian Game Showcase, and the Frosty. We're kind of all in a little party. And I think on the whole, all these shows, I think that the reason they work is because they found a format, and each show kind of follows that format, adds the cultural or whatever specific flair that they need for it, and then like they're just such watchable shows. They have the info in the bottom left corner. They let you know when demos are available. They showcase creators and developers that associate with, again, women-led development studios. So lots of women, and
We
You got-
love women.
the Latin American Games studio. Again, just seeing these diverse studios, these diverse faces, and seeing their amazing looking games for each of these. I'll just kind of keep going. I'll go through each show here just to show a little bit of it, as you guys, if you guys want to just talk again about the kind of the collection. Like, shout out to whoever it is that got them all together and employed the format and is helping that, because I assume that's what's happening, right? There's like kind of like
There's a committee.
there's a committee that's helping put these things together. But yeah, I'll just let some of these play, and then you guys can talk about just briefly, the collection of shows.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, we're just always seeing like the quality go up and up and up in terms of like what they're bringing and how they're presenting it. Like, we've seen it over the past few years, like they're creating these sort of like frameworks and identities for how they present the games that just makes it so much easier to parse the information, and to see like what has demos out and all of that stuff. So I mean, they just were all bangers this year. The content and the presentation. And
Faith?
Oh yeah, agreed. It's just nice, just to again talk about it ad nauseum is being able to see that there's a format now to this, because it makes, I mean, for you guys and for me, just like a game that we see like, oh, that looks really cool, and then you'll see it, you know, pop up in the bottom left in legible font, like here's the game, here's who's making it, here's the, you know, projected release or whatever, just for easy reference for everyone. And I feel like every single showcase that we ever see during any event should have something like that.
Yeah.
Or just a little, you know, little card that comes out like, here you go, just so you know. Because some of them, you know, as much as I love art and everything, sometimes we just cannot read your fonts,
I know
brother.
those stylized logos for the game. I'm like,
you know,
Like that last show,
Right.
the last one from Frosty. It's cool. It wasn't. It went boom, like full screen. You're
yeah,
like, what? You know.
yeah, that's cool. And it's just, you know, it's not just the, you know, 10 development studios that are out there. There's all these indie people, and it's always nice to see, you know, POC voices get highlighted, and countries that get highlighted that, you know, we don't normally see, like Australia. We don't normally see, like we know of, you know, those countries making those games and those people making those games, but the broader audience doesn't, you know, like, oh, they're like, oh, what do you mean? Yeah, indie games. I've played some, you know, I've played Fez. And it's, you know, it's like, okay, well, there's a vast world out there of games, and a lot of them are probably games you'd prefer over, you know, AAA games at this point.
Yeah.
And it's just nice to be able to highlight those. Like, there's a lot of games here that I have seen before, and there's a lot of games that I have literally never heard of in my life. And I'm like, top of the wish list right now, brother. Give me Waifu Tactical Force.
and it was just cool to see like the newer shows coming out so strong. They
Yeah.
were both incredible.
And it's kind of thanks to the work done right by women-led games, Latin American games that had the year, and they learned what they learned, and then you know they get to go, hey guys, you should do these things. You know,
Come on in.
one thing I love that it talks to it speaks to the format and the planning, that each of the ones we're talking about, women-led games, Frosty, Southeast Asian, Latin American, they all had one more thing, and we all love that. We love when they do that, and all the one more things were like genuinely
Hype
so
as hell.
exciting. Yeah.
Mhm.
And yeah, it's just so exciting to see these things. Like, I think Oscar talked about this last year when Latin American Games had its first show, and how you know talked about getting a little emotional, and talked about, you know, and I kind of had that this year with Southeast Asian games, where like one, it's like the reminder of I feel like the Filipino game dev scene is growing in ways I didn't realize. Even I'm trying to keep on top of it, and even then I'm like, oh wow, like that's being made, oh my gosh, you know. And it's so cool to just see that and to like celebrate that, you know, like just having the stage and the platform, and honestly getting the support. I don't know how much support it is, as far as like, I don't know if it's financial or if it's just giving the stamp of approval and putting it on the stage, but like Keely, you know, saying these are part of the Summer Game Fest slate is such a big deal, and it's just so cool. The last thing I want to say is I go to Frosty here almost, is the fact that the other thing that I love about these, and we've seen it now across all of them, is that each of these shows has like dedicated music, dedicated visuals, dedicated, you know, and that helps so much too to like differentiate them, especially again within the same format, but like make them all stand out too. Like, it's just what a cool slate of shows. It's like simultaneously I want to see them be like, keep going, bro. What else we got? You know, queer games, you know, showcase. Let's go. Like something else.
Every year I'm saying
But
we need it.
but like at the same time I'm also like, I need to breathe.
What you were saying about like the, you know, the music and the specific like branding and stuff too, I feel like it helped keep the energy so much higher
Yeah.
today. Like just like the energy that the Frosty Games soundtrack brought, like
Oh yeah.
kept us hype. We're like at the end of such a long day. I know not everyone's watching these shows like this live and back to back to back and like, you know, every single one, but for us personally, like I'm sure that's
It's just-
just so much.
It's so fun because like there's been multiple times too throughout this week that we had the opportunity to just look at the entire list of games at all of these, and I'm like, no, I want that experience of just sitting and watching with a group of friends and seeing what's coming and being excited. You know, it's so cool, and to just see the variety again. We talk about that, the diversity and variety of these games and what's coming. And yeah, these shows, once again, we'll say one last time, women-led games, Frosty Games Showcase, Frosty Games Fest, Latin American Games Showcase, and the Southeast Asian Games Showcase are just so incredible. And if you weren't able to watch all of them, we do deeply recommend you check them out. They're not all an hour. They all kind of come in just under an hour, so that, you know, that really helped us too today, as we needed different breaks for eating and bathroom and prepping for this recap and highlights, you know.
Yeah.
And so good. And that was the big high. But before we get into our highlights, we have to talk about the lows. Which on one side was a sad one because it was the Future Games show, which is always one we love and did have really cool games this year, but just got caught in what seems to be YouTube technical errors, not their fault. So it's not on them. So that makes it even sadder, really, because at first it was almost like Future Games, fix your, you know, but then it's like, oh, it's just YouTube. It's actually not even them. So that's
sad for everyone that put in all the work on that.
Yeah, that was a sad. It was skipping. If you didn't know, it was skipping backwards in time, and then forwards in time, and then backwards again, and then forward again, and you would end up missing entire trailers. There was one, like, we mostly saw at least a little bit of everything, but we almost entirely missed one whole game that, like, we are all like, yo, that looks amazing.
We're like, wait, go back.
So yeah, such a sad thing for the developers for Future Games. You know, hopefully they can figure that out moving forward. It's hard to say what solution there really is, but YouTube, figure out your stream and stuff, because you try to say you want to compete with Twitch, but that you caused that today. So what's that mean? I mean, yeah, Future Game Show, they said, I think there's going to be one in August, which is nuts. So they'll be back, and hopefully they can redeem themselves there. But that was a definite bummer. And then there was the awkward, very strange green gaming show, which was supposed to be a show dedicated to environmentalism, you know, sustainability, and all these other amazing things. And then one of the first few games in the showcase was fully AI. And then people went to the store page and saw that there was like a crypto thing in it. And then, you know, that's already one thing, right? But then you watch the showcase and you see the hosts immediately after going, whoa, how beautiful and stunning and amazing that was. That's so cool. And it's just like, like, it's not like you clearly know and you didn't get tricked here, you know, like, what is going on? And it didn't end there. There were several AI projects in the show, and yeah, like, they ended on a trailer of a 15-year-old game. They you know, they had a you know, a lot of mobile games, which is fine, but a lot of them do have predatory monetization practices, and so that just feels weird too. And just, yeah, they would cut to the hosts and they kind of just seemed like they were like fine with everything that was happening. And, you know, when you're saying you're for the environment and you're showing games that have AI generated video, which again, to get like 5 seconds of AI generated video, it equals the energy output of running in microwaves for 3 hours straight. Like, that is not good for the environment. Spoiler alert.
The literal antithesis.
You're telling
of what
me
they
I
pitched
can't
the
do
show
that?
as.
So that was such a bummer to hear. We were planning on, so the way our schedule worked is we had to pick between Green Game Show and the Future Game Show. And we decided to go Future Game Show, and then we would watch Green Game Show after. Good thing we did that, even though it was glitched. Much better use of our time than watching the Green Gaming Show. I hope they address it, because that is just so strange. I make a whole Thanksgiving dinner in the microwave every day. That might be what the people running that show do, and they think it's okay. I don't know, but it's just strange. It's just strange. Explain, please. Explain where you're going there. If if you even, it's because I think it's worse if you say, "Oh, I just didn't realize."
Yeah.
If you say at the very least, "Oh, they helped fund something," I'm not happy, but like at least that's a reasonable, not reasonable, but it's an explanation.
It's an excuse.
It's and it's an excuse. But if it's literally you just are gonna play dumb and act like you didn't realize what that was, or you're gonna say that, but they actually do a lot of good. They offset. No.
No way.
No.
It was so bad that multiple people were calling for Jeff Keighley to literally turn off the stream,
They said pull the plug, bro.
and it had a lot of people just baffled. And again, I
wonder
want to hear
if Jeff will have anything to say about it.
that's what I want to see there's a chance, right, over these next few days that we'll see developers and other people that were involved with that show coming out and being like, I had no idea.
Yeah. It's so sad. Like now everyone's gonna have to, like, the people that had real games there are gonna have to like apologize or be like, I didn't know, like like I just feel like so many people got bamboozled by this. It might not have been, but it feels so malicious. Like
it
feels like a scam.
Yeah. And it's such a bummer because even when we were looking back to be like, okay, let's pick out some of the trailers that were good and normal, we went back and tried to, and it's like we ended up doing the thing that I hate, which is like guessing as to what's AI and what's not, because we couldn't know because of the way that show poisoned the well.
Yeah.
It made us like question everything we were looking at. We tried to pick out the what looked like the best normal things from that show, but we don't know. And such a bummer on what should have been such an exciting day. And again, a lot of other shows were lumping that show in with, because I have to assume they thought the best of it, because you read what it's saying. We support games that, because there are tons of games that do, like, you play it and you do an action in the game and that replants a tree, or it helps like clean up a cube of the ocean or whatever, like they have like these little things, and like it's almost like, I don't know how exactly which one, it's like a conversion of the energy output you're doing into something like that. But for it to then be immediately opening with AI, and for the hosts to be like, whoa.
Yeah, and just to touch on like the whole thing, like Vern was saying, feeling like a scam. They also had like a fundraiser going. They're trying to raise $150,000 for something, which is also weird. That they're doing like a games fest. They're like, oh, please donate money.
Yeah.
It is weird. It is very weird. I mean, I don't want to like fully say that that's not good. It could be good.
Yeah, it could be.
But we don't know.
But when you lump it all in together,
100%.
It's just like, well, now I'm suspicious.
I mean, it sounds like they constantly run, because the Planet Play is what ran the show, and they say they're not for profit gaming platform where 100% of proceeds support certified green projects. Again, a lot of these, there are so many, sadly, not-for-profit organizations that you then look into and you go, wait, where's the money going? And they purposely make it hard to find out, and that kind of thing. So again, we can only assume with the way that they've left the position they've left us in. I noticed some of the other games from the other showcase with a no gen AI was used in the creation of this game, like Badge Thing in the award section. That's been a growing thing that's been happening, which is really cool.
Because people have to specify now.
Charity. Maybe we'll do some research after the show, maybe, and try to do that. But that was the unfortunate part of the day. It was wild to see it kind of unfolding in real time while we were watching another show, and that was having its own issues. And then look on Blue Sky and see everyone being like, huh? Like, Julie had the live reaction of like, wait, what are you saying? Like, wait, huh? Like, I think what Fish was saying, like, it just kind of broke you as far as like, just like the does not compute almost, you know, like, wait, what do you mean they're doing that? You know,
Like it simply does not make sense in any regard.
so that was a disappointment. But before we just leave you on bad vibes, we're instead going to pick it back up
Yeah.
and talk to you guys about our highlights for today. Again, there was over 300 probably games from today shown, and we are going to give you 6 games. Actually 9 with our honorable mentions, but those will be very short. But 9 games that we are super excited about from today's shows. Again, there was 6 shows that we watched. Originally 7, but 6 because we bailed on the Green Gaming show. And we have picked out and researched and all that other stuff, a batch of games that we want to show you and tell you more about. And I will kick things off. Let me go find my playlist that I made. Don't look deep, chat. There's spoilers. Don't look. Play all. I'm gonna start with my honorable mention,
Go piss, bro.
which is Piss Off Glory. Lock in. The Piss Queen will return because this is just a ridiculous party game that was shown during. This was in Latin American Game Showcase, right? I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
That it's just like it's beautifully crude, it's silly, and it just looks like we're gonna hop in and play this game and just like laugh our ass off. You know what I mean?
We
Like,
couldn't stop laughing during the trailer.
yeah, it's truly like the virality of you watch this blue guy. Like it's just so wild, and you know sometimes you just need a game that makes you laugh, makes you smile after a long ass day where you know things like the Green Game show happens and you're like, can you fucking believe that? And you just play this and everything feels right in the world because AI could never make Piss Off. So that's my honorable mention. Just a wild time.
I love
Meanwhile-
freaks make games.
Yeah, truly. Meanwhile, hard cut. My pick for the initial highlight, I'll put the loop on, is Am I Nima? This was shown during the Southeast Asian Games Showcase. And it's a AI users are probably afraid of piss, 100%. Am I Nima is a game where you step into the haunted head of Nima, a young girl who wakes up in the basement tied to a chair, being interrogated and berated by her own mother. Her goal? To prove to her mom that she is her daughter. Prove to yourself that whatever she did worked. And how do you do that? Well, you take the thoughts that are in your head that are manifest as words, push them together, and communicate with her. This sounds like too much like your life. True. I mean, it's a heavy game. You try to communicate with her so that you can learn some horrifying things about your family, the circumstances you find yourself in, and who you are. It's a genuinely haunting experience because you start with nothing, you know, head empty, no thoughts, literally, and you gather the thoughts, right, by looking in the room, by talking to your mom, but then also by squishing the words together to make new ones. So here we see, right, we click on mom, we click on Nima, that gives the words love, fear, and family. And so already you start to see where this game can get like genuinely chilling, where you put together Nima and mom and the word fear comes out of that and you go, wait, why? And then later on you'll see that you put in together Nima and dad and just the word pain kind of starts popping off. And you're like, wait, why? And you start to kind of like toss these innocent words together and you see some horrifying things emerge, you know? And it's that combination of the stunning visuals, by the way, which is so adds so much to the horrifying vibe, like in that opening shot, which it's about to loop back to, where you're just sitting in this room and in the darkness in the distance you can see your mom just kind of hovering by the stairs, just kind of looking at you, like kind of sussing you out, basically trying to be like, okay, what's going on? Just so horrifying. Yeah, this shot, right? Like so horrifying. And then the like juxtaposition of this, you know, just innocent young girl in the bottom right corner, and yeah, you start to, again, in the demo that I played, and the reason I highlighted it because this game just like had such an impression on me. You like find out that your mom's like a scientist, and you find out like she works with brains sometimes, and so you start to go like, oh, and the other teaser I'll give is that as you like piece together things, you hear about, the mom talks about the accident and who was involved in that accident. Why are you like this? Why did your mom do this? Who knows? But the style is so amazing, the mystery is so compelling, the gameplay is like dynamic in this chilling way. It's unlike anything I've ever played, and I had to finally have this reason to like properly rant about it because it's so cool. And yeah, it's I cannot wait to play the full game. You guys, does the peanut gallery have anything?
Not much for me, just that I still really want to play it. You were, telling me about it one time when we were walking Phyllis, and I was like, dang, gotta get home. Gotta go download that. I didn't get around to it.
There's a demo out. So go check it out if you are curious. Or yeah, this is I Nima. Fish, do you have anything?
No, I mean, I love the visuals, and I love, the three of us love this little word association, word games, but also, it's a puzzle in its own right, and and being narrative driven, you're like, oh, okay, I want to, like, we're talking about, like putting father and Nima, and you're like, oh, pain, and you're like, oh, wow, okay, well, why is that pain? Yeah, now you gotta dig deeper and go into that branch of things, or like with your mother, it's fear. Okay, well, now I gotta dig into that branch. It's just sounds like it's one of those games where you just kind of sit down, and then it's 4 hours later and you still haven't pieced together the entire story yet.
Yeah, it's the demo, and the demo's like perfect, where it ends on like this perfect beat where you're like, no, don't let me play more. Definitely worth checking out. Just wild. Again, just like unlike anything I've ever played. I will say, you brought that up, and it did, bloop, bloop, synapses. Kind of her story, right? Of like using singular words to try to trace down this mystery. Yeah, Am I Nima? Other thing because I'm dumb, I guess. Am I Nima? Backwards.
It's an anagram, baby.
Mirrored.
Mirrored,
like
the split hair.
Whoa.
The split hair.
Yeah. Really cool game.
We're on to something.
We're on to something.
Are you ready
What?
for your first game?
We're switching off.
Did you just speak French? I didn't know you knew French.
We go Fern, then Fish, and then back through the cycle. So you start with your honorable mention.
Okay. My honorable mention was Drywall Eating Simulator.
Hell yeah.
This was from the Women-Led Games showcase, and it really spoke to me, So there's actually not like a ton about it online, but I just wanted to shout it out. It just was really funny. You are, coping in your own unique ways with the horrors of capitalism and your annoying coworkers. You bash your head on the wall, you eat drywall. Don't try this at home. And it just seems like a great time.
You know what it gives me vibes of? Wasn't there that whole trend for a minute of what was it, like Roosevelt's wife eating like sheet
aluminum
metal?
foil. Yeah, like sheet metal or something. No, it's JFK's wife.
Oh, JFK's wife. That's
Eleanor
right.
Roosevelt. Yeah, Eleanor, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, multiple levels, humans to talk to, explore your environment.
I love those.
Those are humans to talk to.
It says, don't let your anger get out of control. Keep your secrets
Jackie
safe.
Kennedy, that's right.
I was gonna say Eleanor
Roosevelt and Jackie
Roosevelt,
Kennedy.
Yeah. All right,
Uncultured.
So on to your first pick of the day.
Is that this one?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Which is
Death and Faeology. I had to spotlight a visual novel It's like dark academia, like you're a Faeologist, and the only person who can figure out who is killing all of the Fae touched. It's so like an investigative visual novel, you know, we like those. We played Death Trick Double Blind on Fern's Book Club recently. And so you're trying to figure all of this out. It looks like it started as a game jam game from the Spooktober 6th annual visual novel jam.
Spooky then.
I've seen a lot of cool stuff come out of Spooktober. So you're using your tools to investigate the evidence. Let me see. It said you have like a magnifying glass and like sort of a UV light, a black light to detect fairy magic. So looking for that. I also looked into, the romance options. It's very interesting. There's the detective, who's like an intellectual, a skeptic, doesn't accept the existence of fairies,
So
but like
what is it,
puts his
Mulder?
trust in you.
No, Scully.
Whoa!
X-Files.
There's
Scully.
There's the patron, who's like Silver Fox, like provides the means for your Faeology studies and research. There's the assistant, who is, just always looking out for you, is always helpful in whatever way you need. And then there's the childhood friend, whose image is like blurred out and blacked
Unrevealed.
out. Yeah. And it said something about you can like stray your childhood friend into an intoxicating love.
Whoa.
So it sounds like that might be like taking them
Little-
away from like an
Ah.
existing
Hey,
relationship.
yo.
So some pretty saucy stuff. It's in 1920s New York. It's a cool like noir setting and vibe. The upper echelons of New York society, but like with this fantasy sort of twist. So I'm super excited for that one.
Yeah, I mean, 100%.
Friends Book Club coming.
Fern's Book Club selection.
You
I
heard
was
it here first.
I want to point out something that was really exciting. We love this kind of stuff. There is one of the mechanics is the desk, and you pull out all your evidence and you spread it out across the desk, and that's when you can pull out your magnifying glass and stuff. And I also appreciate, you see it here, kind of pulling it out here. You have this book that has, so like you talked about that UV light, there's like a page in it that seems to be like what the light means for different things, and so like really like identifying and breaking down, like being able to, like, I love a refer to a manual kind of thing.
It's got that nitty-gritty identification stuff, and then like interviewing, the subjects of your suspicions.
It's interesting to hear you say about the romance options, because I didn't realize that means none of the characters we're seeing are us. We are just first person us communicating with these people. And this was in Latin American games, correct? I believe.
Let me double check. It was in a couple of them. It was first.
Oh, it was in women led.
It was first in women led, and then it was also in.
Southeast Asian.
Asian.
The one
Yes.
I said no. The other ones, yes. I'm so excited for us to hop into this and
Hell yeah.
play along with chat. Fish, anything you have for this?
I mean, you guys covered all the information that we have, but just to touch on it,
there's
like,
not
it hits all the notes of the things that we all like. I love a little mystery, love Fern doing a little book club.
20,000
love-
words.
I'm out here reading.
Mm-hmm.
20,000
And I
words,
just-
5 endings. It says.
Just let me know when I can get a date with Minerva. That's all I want to know.
Minerva is my initial, but then I love the childhood friend that you pull away.
I
Like,
mean, there's something about it.
Nate the homewrecker.
There's just something about it.
it works. Oh, shit,
Oh, I'm in the
Oscar.
game. I'm just reading. Yeah,
Oscar.
That's the patron.
We
the
didn't
older
even
gen.
clock that, dude. Yeah, super cool, super cool. All right, Fish, you ready for your honorable mention?
Yes, sir.
First up for Fish is
Gourdlets Together. So I know everybody in here right now, including chat, we love a little fishing, a little cozy, and it's just a fun little hangout. What I really enjoy about this, besides how cozy and thing, is that there is a sort of progression. You do get to level up, sell your things, and design, upgrade your character, or not, well, customize your character, but upgrade your island, all that stuff. And it just makes being, it's not just, oh, let me show up on your island and we'll fish there and then we'll just kind of hang out. They'll be like, oh, you come check out my island, look at all the things that I've changed, or like, let's go to Viddy's island today, let's see what they've done today.
kind of the
and it's
Animal
just a nice
Crossing.
yeah, kind of Animal Crossing. We could say gourd morning to each other.
Good morning.
But it's just a fun little time, we all have enjoyed, our web fishings and our games like that. We're just, our idle games where we can just hang out and sit and talk and not have to really, super duper pay attention to Juggalo Island, Viddy says.
Oh man.
And it just stuck out to me just because I do just enjoy spending time with my buds. It doesn't need to be, it doesn't need to be that involved. We can all just be kind of hanging out and just be like, look at this fish I caught, guys. And it's a 800 feet whale that I just pulled out of the ocean. But yeah, so I just wanted to shout that one out. I'll be picking this up.
I'll say that the initial Gourdlets is kind of like a town builder game, but it's like fully like you just build freely. You don't really have like currency that you have to worry about or resources. Like you just build, and you try to build things that like make the little guys happy, and that's it. Simple, straightforward, comfort, like relaxing, not managing a million things. So shout out to that. All right, Fish, your first game. You ready?
Yes, sir. So as we roll into this, I want to say my first game that stood out is the Shadow Syndicate, which we saw in Latin American Showcase. And it's just very interesting that we're taking a trip 10 years into the future from Death and Faeology into 1930s New York. So a lot has happened. Yeah, a lot has happened between now and then. But this game, as you guys can see, is a very stylized stealth noir action game. From everything that I've seen and read, think of Max Payne meets Hitman meets LA Noire meets Sherlock Holmes. Very, very stylized, obviously, and we get all these cool shots of what you can do. So this does take place in 1930s Brooklyn, where you are a detective uncovering a dark conspiracy that is using supernatural powers. So in this, you are I forgot what his name. Does it even say his name in here? I don't know. Sam Marlowe. There it is. Retired soldier turned private detective. And this is a narrative-driven game, so it's not just your running gun type of shooter. There is a plot that we're uncovering here, where you go into levels, but there's also every time after you finish a level, you come back to the hub city of Brooklyn, and you can do things in there like play blackjack, gamble. So I'm gonna be in there, and as well as in the detective style of the game, aside from all the shooting, and you see that's like very Hitman and Max Payne inspired. You do puzzles where you discover clues, interrogate people, and one of the big puzzles that they reuse a lot in this that they enjoy are tangram puzzles. So it's basically like moving shapes around to like reveal something. Yeah, so this game just really stood out to me, and it looks like it's going to be a fun time. You also have supernatural powers in here. You might see a shot in here of a ring that you get to use to help you in your, there it is, the cursed ring. But yeah, it also, yeah, there you go. So that we don't know, I don't know how exactly translates into what happens to you, but they do say that you use it at a cost. So it could maybe cost health or maybe it costs sanity, whatever it is. But yeah, so obviously it has all the also the RPG mechanics where you upgrade your abilities, manage your curse intensity, which I don't know what that means yet. And yeah, and It sounds like it's going to be a grand old time. It mixes all the things that I like, and, you know, detective game, Max Payne, Hitman, because you're using stealth, and it's going to be a fun time. It's Latin Americans, you know.
Hell yeah, brother. I just want to pull in before I add my commentary. Scully says, I like that the main character is a wolf. Full stop.
So true.
Easy. So true,
Period.
bestie. Yeah, this caught all our eyes really, I think, and so it was like as soon as you said it, like, hell yeah, like, you know, there's so many games that like we couldn't cover all of them that like, yeah, thank you for doing that. This Catwoman is making me think about some things. And what I really appreciate is, yeah, this big so that's probably the tangram stuff right here, huh? So,
Oh yeah,
like,
there it is.
so to get certain pieces of evidence, maybe you have to solve a tangram puzzle, and then you
Maybe it's like your inner brain working.
Yeah,
Like,
you're
how do I
thinking-
put this together?
yeah, thinking about the rumors and stuff. Yeah, it looks so good. The style's amazing. The gameplay mix sounds really, really like solid, like a good gameplay loop. I didn't even know. I feel like I didn't notice that the first time we were watching it. And then obviously, as you were talking, I was seeing it again and again, like the like mystical, like magical shit going on. So that's really cool. And I know there's a lot of like noir stuff that kind of deals with that concept, right? Like, what was the Black Lotus killer or whatever? No, Black
Dahlia murder.
Dahlia, you know, like from that
Yeah.
era, you know, like that's kind of like has this like mysticism to it, you know. So it's cool to see that, and yeah, I'm excited to. Okay, I thought so. I thought I saw a swastika.
Damn.
So hey,
It's always
guess
going
what?
there.
You can kill Nazi.
Extra points. Yeah, extra points.
Look at he shoot that guy in the head. Yeah, I'm super excited for this. I can't wait to see how the loop works and how it all manifests, and yeah, hearing the gambling stuff is super exciting. I love me a hub world that I go back to you know, just I always tell the story of in the first Like a Dragon game, the first of the RPG Yakuza games. Early on, I went to play Texas Hold'em. I played for like 2 hours. I earned enough chips to get me like an overpowered weapon that I carried with me through like most of the game.
Nice.
Yeah. I was just reading again what I'd written down. Blackjack is confirmed, darts is confirmed,
Ooh.
and bowling is confirmed.
Oh,
I was gonna say I saw bowling alley on the notes. I was like, please.
Mm-hmm.
hell yeah!
Mm-hmm.
That's so cool.
Anything?
I mean, nothing to add from me. That was very thorough, but I mean, I was really glad that someone was gonna cover this one from today like that. That one just had to be in the list.
It had the juice.
All right. Up next, my final pick of the day, which is similar to Am I Nima in that it is a game that I played a demo for earlier and now have the reason and excuse to talk about it extensively here on stream and shout it out. And that is none other than Danchi Days. Danchi Days. It was in the Wholesome Direct. A hard left from what we just did with Am I Nima and really our detective game here. But this is a decidedly more wholesome childhood life story. In Danchi Days, you play as Hoshino, a young girl who lives in a danchi, which, if you don't know what that is a basically like an apartment block, a massive place where a lot of people live, and so inevitably there is this kind of like community culture that comes around it, where there are, you know, you see these people a lot. There's these little like there's playgrounds and things, and all the like shared spaces, right? You're seeing a lot of the same people in those shared spaces, and that is a common thing in Japan. She is striving to reinvigorate the community's summer festival in the wake of her grandmother's dementia diagnosis. So you already kind of see that it's like it's silly and it's wholesome and it's cute, but then there's this like edge that's like kind of based in reality and like the darkness of some of the things that we go through, right? Like and not shying away from that, you know, amidst the beauty and the wholesomeness. And that's something I really appreciate about Analgesic, who's making this game, who's known for Angelina's one game that we're looking forward to, and my brain is so broken from all the games that have gone into it. So let me very quickly look. Anodyne, yes, Anodyne, of course, and even the Ocean and Sephony. Yeah, just a bunch of games that kind of have that same kind of approach to storytelling of, you know, has this kind of one drive, but then there is this, like, you know, realness to, and like this kind of edge and realness that's there in the background, that I really like. Like, for example, in this game, right, there's this woman who you see in this trailer, who who is obsessed with cleaning water fountains. And you actually see both the characters. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no, spoilers. Why did they do
No one saw what it was.
But there's this woman who's obsessed with cleaning water fountains, right? And you help her by making sure that all the water fountains in the area are clean, and then she will come to your festival. But then there's also a guy who can't stop thinking about dying, and he's like, that's all he can think about. And so you have to, like, try to woo him by thinking of something else that is dark in your life, and get him to come to your party by being like, well, think about this, and he, you know, get him on your side, basically. Yeah, and so that's the main goal of the game, is to invite. There's the water fountain cleaner. The main goal of the game is to get people to come to this festival, and so you're slowly inviting them, getting a roster of people to come to the festival. And there's these tile-based movement mini games that you kind of see in there that make up most of the kind of action-y gameplay. If you ever played the Hamtaro Game Boy Advance games, that is a series that the developers have said is a major inspiration, and that already sold me and made me want to play. And yeah, like what I really love about this game is there's like a dedication to the small things, right? There's this dedication to like literally stopping and smelling the roses. This character, thanks to her grandma, has this like appreciation for just the natural things that you hear in your day-to-day life, and finding the magic in it is kind of like the approach to the story, where like you see there's the old man that's sweeping the concrete, and you see like these like mystical like bubbles that come out of that, and it's that, like, yeah, the appreciating those little things, the way the toilet flushes and you hear the water go through all the pipes in this shared living space, the, you know, puddles, the, you know, all these little bird song, you know, like it's just it's all about appreciating those little things. And again, when you consider the background of, it's also, you know, this little girl kind of coping with her grandmother's diagnosis, and, you know, it's gonna be sad, because a big reason she's doing all this is she's thinking, if I do this, maybe grandma will, you know, remember things, and maybe she'll get back to normal and it'll be okay. And so you have a feeling it's not necessarily going to end well, but also maybe Danchi Days is optimistic and hopeful and magical, and with the help of this Kappa that Scully is in love with that you see here, you'll be able to not only save the festival, but save grandma. I love this game. Loved the demo. Played as much of it as I possibly could. It's being published by Analgesic and Melos Hantani, who's from that team, but then it's a trio that's come together to make this Gingham Games, kind of a new team, and I absolutely cannot wait for the full release. Wanted to make sure I spent a lot of time shouting it out, because it just really it's, you know, it's so funny to think about the two games I picked. I Nima, this dark, really like intense, like stressful, chilling game, and then Danchi Days, which is like, listen to the sound of a broom on the concrete, and the, you know. But I think it's going to be really, really, really fun. And there's this whole like browser interface too, where everyone has their own little web page, and that's how you can kind of get to know people too, and invite them to your festival. And yeah, really cool. Open the floor. Anyone got anything?
Yeah, it was
Questions?
it was cool to see that one at both Wholesome and Women-Led Games. And I've definitely had my eye on this one since you started talking about it. I love that sort of like bringing a community together type of game, like where you have to win over like people one at a time, then you eventually get to see them all come together at the end.
Yeah,
that just gives you like that real like community feeling. You're like, oh my god, these are my friends.
I can't wait to see like what the festival manifests
Yeah.
as and how that goes. And
I hope it goes well.
and it's just like it's a town of weirdos too. Like there's a
Uh-huh.
puddle lover, so you have to like find a hole, put a puddle in it, and then they'll go, oh, whoa, awesome, I'll come. You know, like like. But then there's also a person that hates puddles and loves to fill holes, and so like you know, like it's like these little rival. Like it's just such a fun idea and a fun concept, and can't wait. Yeah, fish.
I mean, yeah, sounds like a great story, and I hope Grandma is well after this.
Yeah.
But I also just love, you know, for us being the old heads, the aesthetic and everything of a 4x3, you know, like Game Boy
Yeah.
Advance game. It's just, you know, it's just beautiful.
And I think I remember, yeah, there's a lot of like you can choose the frame that's on the outside edge. Yeah, see, look, there's poops going through the pipes.
Which is nostalgic for me because if anyone remembers the Game Boy player for the GameCube, you could
Yeah.
do the same thing as customizing like the borders, so you could have a different color Game Boy around the edge. So I mean, it's just cool. Seems like a great story, and just like Fern was saying, like it's the building a community part aspect of it is just, you know, it just makes sure, you know, it's just heartwarming, and like I want to win over everyone. Everyone's coming to my party.
Yeah, it's a really cool game that, you know, definitely recommend checking out the demo. There's a demo. Go check it out. I had to make sure I was like looking through my email because the demo just came out, but I was like, am I under embargo? Oh, that was the just a total aside. Earlier, there was that Puppet Husk game. So it revealed itself that the Souls one. It revealed itself there at Women LedGames. But I looked and I was under embargo until like 2 hours later when it was going to reveal at IGN Live. And I was like, but it's here. And
But it's out in the world.
what? And so like that's why I was like, I can't really talk about this, I guess. But yeah, that game's cool. I'll talk to you off stream, but that's a cool game. Yeah, Danchi Days.
Nice.
Danchi Days.
Are you ready?
Yes. Speaking of appreciating the little things,
Whoa.
my other pick is Seasonala Cemetery. So this, I wanted to pick one of the ones that came out today. There were a ton of them, like I said, and I feel like, you know, it's hard when you're coming out in a big batch and like there's so much other gaming news going on. So I wanted to highlight one, and this one stood out to me.
And it's not just coming out today.
It's out today and it's free. I learned
Pog up.
in my research. So yeah, this is available on Steam now, and itch as well. You can play it for free. So it's very much like an ambient, like walking sim. You're walking through this cemetery. It's synced up with your local date and time.
Whoa.
So, you know, like these shots in winter, like you gotta come back to it in
Wait,
winter,
really?
I guess. Yeah.
That's sick.
So, you know, something you can revisit from time to time and just
Wait.
check out like how the cemetery is doing. I think
That's-
that's
Yeah,
kinda
you see the
cool.
date and times right there.
And so you do a little bit of like interacting with like the gravestones. You learn about the city and the people through the gravestones and their stories. You meet a couple of NPCs in the game and you can talk to them. You can interact with animals in the cemetery. And one thing that I think is really cool is that the audio is like actually recorded in a cemetery.
That's cool.
That's dope.
And that seems like a really small thing, but you know, we've seen like how powerfully that can put you like into a place. Like I'm thinking of Despelote did that.
Yeah.
They recorded like audio like on the streets
the
of
place.
Quito, Ecuador. And everyone just praised that so much. Like it just really works. And so it's definitely, this is meant to be like it's not, I think there's probably like, you know, you'll form an emotional connection and like some of these stories will be, you know, heartwarming. I don't think it's designed in any way to be like spooky or sad or, you know, the things that you would associate with the cemetery. It's meant to be sort of like a peaceful and meditative, like just strolling through nature kind of thing and enjoying that environment. So, and it's from, let me look it up real quick. It was from the developers of A Mortician's Tale. I haven't played that one, but it's been on my radar for a long time. And yeah, so that one is out today for free.
So
Check it out.
leaning on, going off what you just said, yeah, they're from the creators of Mortician's Tale. I know that I remember when they were making that, I feel like I heard stories about like the developer wanting to like showcase the beauty in what many people might consider macabre and upsetting, and so like it only makes sense that this is like the next step after that, of making a cemetery be this relaxing and beautiful place. Hearing what you said about the real-time date and time thing is so cool. Like I can see this being either like a stream thing where like once every few months we come back in and like, okay, what's going on at the cemetery, like, what's happening, what's going on, come in on a rainy day, see what's going on, like just such a cool idea for a game like this. Obviously you could just change your date and time on your computer and hop around, but like I think there's like a beauty in this as a free project again, to hop back in and go, what's going on with the graveyard, what's happening. And I remember when it's different from what I thought, because I remember when I first heard about it I was like, oh, this is gonna be the kind of thing where it's like gonna tell this story where like you hang out with this old, like maybe this old person that's like a little older, and then one day you it skips to another season and you find their gravestone and it's like emotional.
Yeah, I mean, that still could happen.
It could still happen, yeah.
I'd be fucking devastated.
But yeah, I that sounds like a really cool project, really experimental, and like just like I on one side I see why it's free, right? Like it feels like such an experiment in a really cool way, and like what I appreciate though is it also shows that this person just wants people to come in and play, and see this and experience it. So that's really cool. Fish, Seasonala.
Yeah, I mean, that's something I really like about it being free, is like that it erases that barrier, because like you guys were talking about a little bit, is like a cemetery usually has that like negative emotion, negative feeling around it, and it seems like developers trying to kind of dispel that, trying to be like, that's, I mean, I feel that way when I go to like a cemetery. It's not like a spooky thing to me, it's like it's almost relaxing, like to just go there and kind of just enjoy it. Like me and Devin have gone on walks through cemeteries and stuff, just because it's yes, there's death associated with it, but it's it's not inherently just scary or spooky or sad or anything. It's just people are there, and you're paying your respects to them. And it being free, it erases that barrier of like, oh, I'm scared of cemeteries, or I don't like cemeteries because they're sad, but I want to check this game out because I want to kind of get over that or something. And you're able to come back, if you're feeling like that way again in different seasons or anything, or you're able to just enjoy it as something you just come back to every once in a while, just to relax, or just to experience more story.
It's such a small thing, but I really like that too, that you can pick up like pine cones and rocks and just like different things from the environment, and place them on the gravestones. Like it just feels like
flowers,
a nice little like, I'm just gonna like honor this person, like. And
if anything, it kind of helps. Yeah, I'm seeing it. I see it written there. It's like it can kind of be like a marker. Like I've been here. I saw this gravestone across my time playing, so I know that now. And let me, here's ones that I haven't seen yet. And
True.
Yeah, really. Yeah, it I think it depends on like a person's perspective on death too, where like a cemetery, once one person sees us surrounded by death, oh my god, but then other people go like, oh, I'm surrounded by a lot of beautiful people that had beautiful lives, and they're protecting me while I'm here, and that's cool, and I'm appreciating their what they did when they were here, And yeah, I think it's a really cool and beautiful game, and yeah, free out now. Go check it out.
Mhm.
Go check it out.
Yeah, and like Shazame was saying just a little bit ago, an appreciation of life once lived. Like it's not scary just because people died. It's just, you know, it's just a place where
Blame
pay respects to
horror
people.
movies, and hands coming out and stuff. Ooh, going there on like, you know, because like there's like Dia de los Muertos and stuff like that. Going there on those days and seeing if like there's maybe some, you know, version of that represented, you know, would be really cool. All right, Fish.
Yeah.
Are you ready to close us out?
Oh,
Can you believe
yeah.
it? I'm like kind of I'm like looking. I'm like, oh, we're almost done. Like,
Yeah.
that's wow.
Yeah.
Fish, are you ready for your game?
Yeah. Yeah. So my final game, speaking of death, was this one stood out to me just because along the same lines of detective and all that stuff.
Wait a second.
Highest in detective games, you know, just really hit me hard this year. Is Fractured Shimmer, The Fractured Shimmer, by Pendopo Creations, another Southeast Asian game that we saw today. Stood out to me because it's a survival horror, obviously 2.5D, following a journalist, a broke journalist named Eddie, investigating a string of unsettling murder cases. You are sent to a remote mansion to uncover, you know, what's going on, and he realizes he's not alone in this mansion. You have to solve the puzzles and bring him closer to the truth of what's going on. But in addition to that, you know, it's not you're just straightforward, just survival horror, find the killer, bring him to justice, whatever it is. You're also, that's not the only thing in your life that you're investigating. You are also spending a lot of time in the mansion and forced to confront your past and the darkness inside of you. Because you'll see in one of these screenshots here, or I don't know if it's going to show it in the trailer, but they're one of the screenshots on the Steam page. You're looking in a mirror and it says, "Who am I?" So, and it's, you know, I'm guessing it's meant to just scare you, but it's also, you can see in the character's face, you know, it's probably more meant towards himself. So you're collecting clues, solving puzzles, and yeah, it just seems like a real fun time, real spooky time, but also, you know, it looks like it's more than just let's scare you. It's you know, let's look inside ourselves and kind of come to terms with our own past.
Don't
That's
pause
me.
there.
Fuck that
That's
guy,
me.
dude. Fuck that guy.
But yeah, there isn't too much information. There is a demo out, which I'll be checking out.
Nice.
But there isn't too much information past that. They did do a game previously that I knew about. It's on my wish list, actually, back a couple years ago, called Rendezvous,
Okay.
which is a like cyber noir detective game.
Okay.
So, you know, action puzzle, all that stuff. So it was interesting to me back then. And now finding out they did that game, they're making a new game that I'm also interested in. It just makes me think like, okay, I should just start playing these games because obviously they're doing something that I'm interested in.
Hooking you.
Yeah, they've hooked me.
Uh-oh. Baby crib.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
baby crib. Yeah, it's one of those that, yeah, as you said, doesn't have a ton out there, but I'm excited to hear the demo, so that's something to hop into and get the hands on. No better way to learn about a game than just playing it, right? I remember too, it's I you know, so many games, right? And you told me this was one of your picks, and I was like, oh, okay, I don't know. but then like as soon as I started playing, I was like, oh, this is the one that you actually were missing at first too, and because of like something else had to pull you away, and so like to see that it found you anyway, you know, shows the power of a Fish experience. I mean, really, those two puzzles, it's like those feel like straight out of a Resident Evil, right? Like the classic,
So the body hanging there.
yeah, there's some really great. I think that's the key to a horror game sometimes, just like those really good like sting visual moment. I mean, like this thing, like it makes your heart sink, right? Like you don't want to see that guy.
It's reminiscent of like the first zombie in Resident Evil 1, where it's like he turns around to look at you and you're like, ah.
Yeah, I wanna try to pull up that image. Of course, when I look up the Fractured Shimmer, underneath this game is the fractured butthole
Oh,
From South Park.
Nice.
from
Yeah.
South Park.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
yeah,
you'll
so
see
cult
there.
stuff going on potentially. Horrifying. How long I haven't paid my bills? I'm lucky they didn't kick me out yet, brother.
Struggling.
classic bills and cigarettes.
His office. Oh,
Looking through a
no.
peephole. Hate
Don't
that,
like
dude.
that. And then the
Investigating a
statue.
statue. Yeah.
Is it down here? I think I did see it too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who am I? Yeah. As Scully said, and as we said in the moment, and so it's again. I'm glad it found you in the end. It's looking like a fish game.
Mhm.
It is a
Fish-
fish game.
Fish do love the use of fear, horror, swearing, tobacco, and alcohol.
All at the same time, preferably.
Yeah.
Do you have anything on the Fractured Shimmer?
Not too much. I like it. I will watch you play it. The whole horror mansion is a classic for a reason. It just works.
Oh, this is a different trailer
Oh.
because it has all those things that are
Oh,
in
yeah.
the description there. Okay.
And I like when it's
Hate that.
the protagonist is going
little
into this
fucked up.
fucked up place and they're like, wait,
I'm a little fucked up.
is this about me?
I mean, it's the classic, right? Silent Hill.
Yep.
Oh wait, I'm the monster. Maybe.
Am I the horrors?
Uh-oh.
Watch us call the twist right now that he's the killer.
That's him, or that's his
That's
dad.
him.
Whoa.
Ooh.
Encounter. I lost it. That's where we are. That's where we're at. That's where we're at, chat. My
Let's
brain
see,
went.
9 hours later.
My brain went beep boop pop pop beep boop
Oh, the wholesome direct song. That's what you're doing.
beep bop beep bop bop. Oh god, cutting back to this.
Yeah.
And that is it. We did it.
That's the freaking show,
What
everybody.
a day.
That's the freaking 6 shows in a row.
We did it. We didn't have to do 7 because.
What are you typing in there?
Nothing, bro. Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing, bro. I'm not looking at nothing. Don't look at me right now.
Is
Whoa,
Nate
look at all these
gooning right now?
awards. Whoa, these places seem really reputable and cool, and I should check out their places.
Bam!
What was
Hold
that?
on, pause, rewind, and
Let's get
pan,
back.
zoom.
I'm doing frame by frame analysis like we do here at VGG.
The
I need
classic
to see.
VGG.
We do
I thought I
that.
saw something there.
Okay, we see the.
We do that.
cone. Oh, he's panicked. He's holding his head. What's
Whoa!
that?
That looks so familiar. That's
That looks so.
why
I love the
swear
color
I've seen that
choices.
somewhere.
So
That
cool.
branding is just calling to mind something.
Wow.
There's a website down there.
Oh, let's
I
type
wonder
it
what
in.
that's type, but it's all typed into our browsers. Everyone.
And also your friend's browser's next to you. Whoa,
Yeah.
look at all
Yeah.
this.
Go get your mom's phone. Type it in her browser.
Whoa, click on this article here.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Oh, cool.
Wow, look at this.
Whoa, I remember those shows from yesterday.
They're doing so many cool things
Wow,
here.
they must have worked really
Whoa.
hard on that.
I think they
I
did.
think they stayed up really late
All
working
XP.
on that.
Shout out. Anyways,
Anyways.
let's get back to the main screen. Thank you guys so much. Yeah, shout out to those. Obviously, we understand if you had to step away, if you had to pass out, as multiple people did, if you had to leave,
Congrats,
if
everyone,
you
on
had
your
to,
little nap times.
if you had things going on. It's the freaking weekend, baby. Like, I get it. You gotta have you some fun. But we appreciate you stopping by at all. Shout out to the people that were here for 99% of the show. Shows, I should say. And I appreciate all of you for coming out and celebrating with us. Again, tomorrow we will be starting. Let me look. What time did I actually say? Because what time is the show? Let me look. Fish actually
Tomorrow
chained
at
me
12
to
p.m.
my chair. 12 p.m. is the show, so we'll be alive a little before that.
That
Well,
shout
you put
out
12
was
p.m.
unrelated to fish.
Is that when the show is, or is that when we start?
I don't know. The event is for noon.
Let me look.
I'm looking already.
Okay, yeah. 11:30 is when we'll be live-ish. Because we're not going to be reacting to the Xbox
Yeah, 12
show.
p.m.
but we will be talking about some of the games in them because of the active BDS boycott, which again we will address further tomorrow morning when we get here. But we will be talking about some of the games, so you know those devs don't get lost in the horrible decisions of Microsoft. But just know that that's why we're not going to be live during that show. If you come here expecting to see us and you're like, where'd they go? That we're not
You
here.
won't find us
You won't
here.
find us.
Thank you, Shazame, for the hydrate.
But we will be again live at 11:30 to talk briefly about Xbox, and then at 12 we will hop into the PC gaming show and then recap that show at the end of the day. And then it'll be done with the reacts and into the final day on Monday where we give out our best of show award. Lots of worthy competitors for that.
It's gonna be tough.
That's where I feel like if there's a game that we want to maybe give it to and there's demos, we definitely gotta play them and give it the, you know, suss it all out as best as we possibly can.
What am I doing to it?
You're sussing on it.
Well, I'm gonna be sussing hard.
Yeah. Thank you so much, everybody.
This one.
Yeah, let's hit. We'll get a raid going here. Yeah, please go read the articles. Even if you don't read them, just go to the website, click, and then just leave it open. And let's just leave it open for
Scroll.
like 3-4 minutes, you know?
Just let us pretend you read it.
And then
We'll
leave.
feel exactly the same as if you had.
That really does a lot for us. More than you know.
We're in shambles right now.
Because we were up till 1 something last night.
Oh.
Writing this last one we just did. And so, you know.
We're off to have dinner and do it again.
Hell yeah, brother.
Woo!
But yeah, thanks for watching. Let me get a raid message. Someone else vamp so I can just use my brain to raid message.
Yeah. Chat. Get your games. When we do our recap, I want to see chat go through some of these games and tell us what you guys really enjoyed from this year.
Yeah, everyone be thinking about it. We did that at the end of last year when we did our
community.
final picks of the show. We did community picks. So be keeping those in mind and we'll put them together in some regard. We mainly shared that out on social and in the Discord and stuff.
Get your picks.
Yeah. Let's see you guys do it, you know? We have to sift
See
out
you do it.
6 games or 9 games, whatever we did, out of like 500. And let's see you sift out some games, you know what I'm saying?
There's our message. We're gonna raid our friends over at Ultramelon, who are enjoying enjoying the Switch 2 launch. God, I just was reading the stats last night. It has sold 3 million units in 24 hours. The previous record was the PS4 with 1 million, and
Wow.
the PS4, PS5 took 3 months to sell 4 million units, and that was like, whoa! And Switch 2 is going to fly past that. So wild times.
Oh, God.
But let's go raid Ultramelon and check out some Mario Kart World over there.
Mario Kart World.
Mario Kart. Appreciate you all, and we'll see you on the other side. We'll see you tomorrow.
Everyone, thank you for being here.
Get out of here. Go sleep.
Bye.
Bye, take
Yo, wait, I
care.
still have to do I forgot how rating works.
Oh.
10 seconds.
This guy
10
hasn't
seconds.
even
10 seconds.
shout out
10
to all the
seconds.
devs.
Shout out to all the devs. Unshout out to the
Shout
AI
out-
games.
Shout out to
Yeah, unshout out.
Close.
Shame the AI games.
Yeah. All right, now we go. Goodbye.
Bye bye.